Welcome to the first video on this channel, the second channel, and in today's video we are going to be ranking every single prospect from 25, my personal top 25, so make sure you guys like and subscribe to both channels. And also, you're going to see eye value, skill, oversize, and a bunch of other stuff, so let's go. So the first up, we have Cameron Schmidt. I could say he could be an elite low prospect. Tried to record this once, it didn't work, my mic wasn't working, so we're going to speed this up for you guys. It was like 30 minutes long, but Cameron Schmidt, he could boom or bust. He could be Cole Caulfield, he could be Connor Garland, or he could just be a random player. And for the 25th best prospect, I would take a chance on him if I was a team that had a great core and needed a boom or bust kind of prospect. This is your guy. Next up is Bill Zonin at 24, a big power forward winger, right, who has exceptional touch. He has a great defensive game as well, and he put up monster numbers in the queue, and he works very hard as well. Bill Zonin would be a great pick as a floor guy. Next up at 23, I'm talking about Cullen Potter here, even though I have Oliver Moore on the screen, because, his speed, just a speedy guy, a speedy American guy. Oliver Moore, Cullen Potter, just a solid top six. At number 22, we have Cameron Reed. A solid offensive defenseman who can play a little bit of defense. He plays a lot like Evan Bouchard. I see a lot of Cam York in his game. I think a top 4 defenseman, he projects that. And the way I'm projecting these guys is their best stats. I'm showing you their best stats, potential X factors they could gain, also what they could be at best case scenario. All of these guys could be bust, But next up at 21, I have Logan Hensler. I put him a bit higher because he's a right shot defenseman. He's a bit bigger, and he was ranked a lot higher at the start of the year, so the talent's definitely there. Wisconsin was a pretty bad team, but, he looked okay in the World Juniors. I think a team looking for a solid right shot defenseman. Same with this guy, Blake Fiddler. I have him a bit higher at 20 just because his defensive game is so refined. A bit raw offensively, so how high his ceiling is, you never know. But, with that kind of a frame just growing into your body, he got some power play time, looked okay. And, he has good fundamentals in his skating. So I think Blake Fiddler could be a guy who a lot of teams look at and ask themselves why they passed. And I have him at number 20. So, by the way, if you guys let me know in the comments what you guys think. But at number 19, I have Justin Carbonneau, the leading scorer of the QMJHL. I think, he technically could be listed at elite. I think he's going to project best case as a second liner. He's either going to be like a top 6, top 9 scorer or not play in the NHL. So another boomer bust guy, but he led the Q in scoring. So next up at 18, we got Malcolm Spence, just a do-it-all kind of guy. Any team like the Montreal Canadiens, like any of those teams who already have their star core and set, Malcolm Spence is a perfect guy. He can play up and down the lineup. He's going to be so valuable. One of the steals of the draft, in my opinion. Next up, I have Cole Reshney a little bit higher because I think when you're drafting in the first round, you should draft for potential. You draft some sure things depending on team to team, obviously. But, Cole Reshney's ceiling, in my opinion, is a bit higher. I think his ceiling is like a pretty good second liner. Malcolm Spence, he's going to be either the best third liner in the league or a pretty average second liner or like a pretty good complementary player. But Cole Reshney's playmaking is crazy. Next up, we have Carter Bear, the Winnipeg boy. Of course, I'm rooting for this guy. Just tore his ACL or something like that, unfortunately, but still should draft him. Absolute beast. This dude does everything on the ice exceptionally. Nothing like incredibly, but he's just an all-around star who can put up points. Next up, we have Kayshawn Atchison at number 15. I think this is. I already lost track. That's great. But EA did him dirty with the 61 overall. Kayshawn Atchison, a pretty mobile, hard-hitting defenseman. I see a lot of Dion Phaneuf in his game. So if you want a double Dion, you could take Kayshawn Atchison. Hopefully the Ducks don't get him. That would suck because their team would be crazy. Same with Lyndon Lakovich here, another big player. As you can see, size doesn't really matter. I value skill and skating and a lot of other stuff, hockey IQ. But Lyndon Lakovic's ability to shoot, pass, and have that size and be a leader is absolutely crazy. He's going to be an insane player in the league. Next up, I have Jackson Smith, only because his skating is incredible. I'm not too high on Smith as a player. He could end up being like Eric Brandstrom, but like, he is tall, he has very good skating mechanics, and when you have that mixed with a pretty good hockey IQ, you can just be a dynamic offensive defenseman, second power play kind of guy. And I mean, he could be good in that role. Next up, we have Braden Coots here. Braden Coots, I feel like I'm higher than him on a lot of people. I could see him going all the way to medium elite, in my opinion. I think EA had it right when they had him at elite. His mechanics, everything other than his skating is top notch, like top 10 pick, and his skating mechanics look pretty good. So if you can get a trainer, he could be an absolute demon. Steal of the draft. Next up at 11, I have Brady Martin. I know people have Brady Martin higher because they're looking at guys like Sam Bennett and stuff, but come on, man, you don't like Brady Martin's gonna be the best third liner in the league, a very good complimentary second line player, even could be a first liner, but he's not, carrying his own line, his own team. So I wouldn't draft Brady Martin higher than like 7th or 8th, but he's incredible. Next up, we have Drake O'Brien. Maybe not as flashy of a player as the guys before him, but just a solid guy, knows how to get it done. These are the guys you need on your team, just that second line center that everybody's looking for. Just a solid guy, doesn't try and do too much. Incredible playmaker, good shot, good defense, stud. Next up, we have Radim Murka, and a lot of people have Smith and Murka close to each other. I think Radim Murka is the second best defenseman. I don't think it's even close. The reason I wouldn't say he's 100% elite medium is because his offensive ceiling, I don't know how high it is, but he's going to be for sure a top 4. In my opinion, he could definitely become a first pair defenseman. Absolute stud. Anyone who drafts him gets a 6'6" right shot D-man. Next up, Caleb Desnoyers at number 7. I mean, you guys might be like, this is too low. I mean, at number 9, sorry. Number 8. I just think his ceiling isn't as high. I think he's like a little bit overrated as a prospect. Not to say that he's not good. I think he's just he's getting put into the 4th pick conversation. I feel like he's more of a 6 to 8 kind of guy. His ceiling, in my opinion, isn't as high, but he's definitely going to be an elite number 1 or 2 centerman. And I mean, that's all you can ask for drafting him. Roger McQueen, I have him higher, 1, because he's a Brandon boy. I have to root for my boys. But also, I mean, when Roger McQueen plays, he's an absolute demon. He could have been a top 3 pick if he played the whole year. But, that's not the way she goes, and he's going to fall in the draft for sure. But in my opinion, Roger McQueen's ceiling, especially for a team that has a lot already, but doesn't really have that superstar, kind of like a Calgary, this is a perfect pick. I don't know any other teams off the top of my head. But Roger McQueen, if he falls to 9 or 10, don't pass on him. Trade up to get him, because this kid could be an absolute demon. And I mean, you see all the X factors he could equip, in my opinion. That would be crazy. 6'5", power forward. Every team is looking for this kind of guy. Now, Desnoyers, I can see you having him over higher than McQueen if you value, sure thing, but potential, in my opinion, especially in this high in the draft. But saying that, I have a guy whose potential isn't as high, but Victor Eklund is my favorite player in the draft, in my personal opinion, other than Schaefer, because I'm a defenseman. But Victor Eklund, I had him at number 3 originally, and I was like, you know what, his ceiling isn't as high as the 5 guys above him. But if you're taking a role player, Victor Eklund's the best role player in this draft. He's going to be, first line, second line, power play, penalty kill, just do it all, dog. And that's what teams are looking for. Teams are going to pass because he's 5'11", but still. Next up at number 5, I have Porter Martone. I actually have Eklund over Martone in my personal opinion, But Porter Martone, he's been getting hated on, but that ceiling is crazy. Like, Victor Eklund could be like an 88, 89 overall if we're talking shell terms. Porter Martone, if he hits, could be a 92, 93 overall player. Just like an absolute, a leader, a captain, goes to the dirty areas, plays a hard game. His skating, everyone talked about his skating. There's prospects with way worse skating who have come through the draft and been incredible in the league. So I'm not too worried about that. He has the size, he has the hockey IQ, he has the skill, and he can put it together. Next up, I have Anton Frondell. In my opinion, a little bit overrated. I don't know. I feel like people are putting Frondell into the top 2 now, which, maybe I'm just underrating him, but he's incredible. He can do literally everything. It's crazy to see a centerman that can score goals, that can pass, that can win faceoffs, play in his own end, play in the other end. It's crazy how many things Frondell play physically. I can see why teams are all over this guy, and he's probably going to go number 3 in the draft. And, he was projected really high at the start of the year, so I'm not surprised. But, no offense, I wouldn't take him over Misa. That's just my personal opinion, but I have him number 3. His ceiling is crazy. His floor is crazy. He's going to be a first-line do-it-all at Barkov centerman, which is crazy. Next up, I had Frondell at number 4. At number 3, I have James Higgins. I actually switched this later on, but this was filmed before. This is just the order of the clips, so I was going to talk about this. I was going to put Higgins later. I had Higgins at 3. I think it's very close. I think people are underrating James Higgins, his ability to drive the puck, his ability to hold on to the puck, create plays out of nothing. I think that's just so underrated. Like, I know finding a guy who can do everything is the obvious move, who's also 6'1", but finding a guy with this much speed, the ability to back off the defense, the ability to skate at the level James Higgins can, is crazy. And it's close. I think there's a clear 3 and 4 in my personal opinion. I want to put Victor Eklund up there, but that's just glaze. But James Higgins, it's hard to say. I'm going to say they're tied. It's a cow answer, I know, but I'm going to say they're tied at number 4 and number 3. I think Frondell's probably going to be the better player, but if James Higgins hits, I think his ceiling is higher, in my personal opinion, because he could be like Kucherov at center, Kaprizov or whatever. But next up, speaking of ceiling, we have Michael Misa, and I think this is where he gets into there's a very high chance he becomes an elite. Now, he's not like elite high as some of the other players in this game, but if we're talking real life, I think there's like a 75-80% chance that Michael Misa becomes an elite player in the league. Like, we're talking like a top 15, top 10 centerman in the league, like one of the top 30 players in the league. I can see Michael Misa becoming that. This dude can do it all. We're talking in the defensive end. He can win face-offs. He can play on the penalty kill. He can shut down your team's best player. He can play physically in a playoff setting. He's won a championship. He can go in transition. He can force turnovers. He can have speed through the neutral zone. He can dangle you out of your boots. He can shoot from anywhere. He can score from anywhere. He can pass from anywhere. He's like, this is just one of the best. Like, he would have gone number 1 in 2022, 2021, 2020. Maybe not with Lafreniere, but it's crazy. He's going number 2 in this draft because there is a generational defenseman prospect. Now, he's not a franchise player. Like, he's not Rasmus Dahlin, but this is the best defensive prospect we have seen since Rasmus Dahlin, and that is Matthew Schaefer. That's just my opinion. The way that this guy can drive the play, the way that this guy can play in both ends, like Miro Heiskanen level, his skating elite, his hands elite for a defenseman, his shot is okay. It's good, but it's not his strength, but his passing is incredible. And his defensive game isn't the best, but it's also like very, very good for a number 1 overall pick you'd think would be all offense. So there is my rankings. Matthew Schaefer 1, Misa 2. Let me know what you guys have different. Let me know who I'm underrating, overrating, and everything. but I took a lot of time trying to make this list. I'm not an expert. Go follow the experts if you want to hear expert content. But if you want to hear a casual talk, follow me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.